Alright, first things first, just want to say I'm sorry the audio for this video is just not the best quality. I have got a mic, but for some reason it's just fucked all of a sudden, so I'm just going to record the audio on my phone because I just want to make this video just to vent my frustration. So yeah, I apologise for bad audio. Anyway, here we go. The time's finally here after a year of waiting for the new series of Doctor Who. Let's see if Chibnall's learnt from his mistakes after the disaster that Series 11 was.
1 hour later.
What the fuck happened there? What the fuck happened there? Huh? What the fuck happened there?
What the fuck was that? Not only has Chibnall not learnt a fucking thing, but he's also achieved the impossible. Made me really struggle to get through a Doctor Who episode. I had to pause the episode several times and even had to resort to the aid of alcohol just for me to finish the episode. Alright. Before I start this review, I just want to clarify something. I'm going to get pretty angry and come down on this episode very hard, and you might be under the impression that I hate Doctor Who. Well, actually, I'm a massive fan of Doctor Who. I practically worship the show and embrace the show's philosophy of always being kind and doing the right thing in my everyday life as much as I can. But since Chibnall has become showrunner, things have gone very wrong, and I get quite angry and frustrated. And it's not because I hate it, it's because I'm very disappointed in what the show's become in recent years, as I know it can be better, as I've seen just how good Doctor Who can be at its best. So when it's failing to hit that mark, I get very frustrated, as I'm very passionate about storytelling, being a writer myself. It's like when Gordon Ramsay gets pissed off and insults chefs when they serve up a bad dish as he knows they can do better, as he's seen better and just wants them to live up to their full potential. And I can tell you now, no amount of lamb sauce is going to save this messy plate of overcooked bland shit. Okay, on with the review. So what I'm going to do is divide this review into sections of good things and bad things. So I might as well start with the good things first. Number 1, production value. The best thing I would say to have come out of the Chibnall era of Doctor Who so far is the production value. It's been looking so much more cinematic, which is cool to see, and Spyfall Part 1 is no different. It's looking very pretty. We've come a long way since the days of bubble wrap monsters, I can tell you that. Number 2. I can't think of any more good things to say. So, moving on to the bad things. This section is going to be pretty big, if you haven't already guessed. So, strap yourselves in, boys. Number 1, the Doctor. Might as well start with a titular character. So the first we see of the Doctor, she's doing some maintenance work on the TARDIS in a garage. Now, a couple of problems arise for me here. I thought that all of the inner machinations of the TARDIS were inside of the TARDIS, and the outside was just the casing. As all the other times we've seen the Doctor doing maintenance work, it's been on the inside of the TARDIS, so that doesn't entirely add up for me. I think this may be another example of Chibnall not understanding Doctor Who, but I could be wrong. That's just how I feel. Second thing I find weird is that the Doctor is doing maintenance work on the TARDIS in a garage with the shutters open, just in front of people so anyone can see. It's not exactly inconspicuous, is it, Doctor? Now anyone passing by can see this weird woman fiddling around with her box. Oh wait, God, no, that sounds weird. Moving on. Another thing is the 13th Doctor hasn't changed at all, which is bad. Very bad. Jodie's still doing an impression of David Tennant, except without the charm or presence, so she just makes weird faces and gestures, and says all weird, awkward things, because, oh, she's so quirky, so quirky. Oh, look at her, isn't she funny? Except, I'm afraid that's not enough to make a character. Quirky is just a trait. You're lacking something called depth. Without that, she doesn't feel like a real person that we can relate to. She just keeps chatting a load of random bollocks, which means precisely 2 things. Fuck and all. She's no different in this episode, I regret to say. She just says a lot of cringy shit, which I guess is supposed to be funny, I suppose. But it's not.
The name's Doctor. The Doctor.
Oh, Christ. Christ almighty, give me fucking strength. Also, I hated the Doctor's response to Stephen Fry, saying that he thought the Doctor was a man because I guess their files haven't been updated and they still think the Doctor's a man. Even though, you know, they're MI6, you think they'd have updated files at this point because, you know, they're fucking MI6. But oh well, you know, never mind. And the Doctor's response is, "Oh, I've had an upgrade." Because, yeah, you know, if there's one thing we've learnt from the Chibnall era of Doctor Who, is that anything with a penis is just inexcusable, mate. Yeah. Thank you, Chibnall. Thank you. We get it now. Thanks for reminding us of this. Thank you. We definitely needed more of this. We needed the Doctor saying more of this type of shit, just to make us hate her more than we already do. Well done, Chibnall, mate. The Doctor's pretty useless in this episode, to be honest. All she seems to do, for the most part, is stand around looking shocked and confused, which actually is the most relatable she's ever been, as I also spent a lot of my time looking shocked and confused while watching this fucking episode. At least she didn't spend most of the episode waving the Sonic around in a weird way, at least. That's something, I suppose. Number 2, the companions. So, unfortunately, we're lumped with the same 3 companions again. Oh dear. The only companion I'm sort of glad to see back is Graham, because he's the only one who has any real depth or any heart to his character. It's just a shame Chibnall is struggling to progress Graham's arc at all, as all that seems to be happening is that, you know, he's doing alright, like, you know, health-wise. I mean, I can't remember, he's got something wrong with him, in series of them, like cancer or some shit, but I can't remember, and I can't be fucked to go back and rewatch it to find out. But anyway, he's doing alright, you know, he's recovering from whatever the fuck he had, so, you know, that's good. Also, he still gets a bit of a sad face when anyone mentions his dead wife, so, you know, not a lot going on really, just same old shit. That's pretty enthralling. Still, this is far more interesting than what's going on with Ryan and Yaz, which is... Drumroll, please. Cheers, mate. Nothing! Ryan's just a comic relief, I guess, and Yaz is... well, she's just there. She's just there, doing fuck all. They do some spy stuff in the episode to find out who Lenny Henry is. Then Ryan talks to Yaz about how he wants to date Yaz's cousin or some shit. Don't really know why we need to see this conversation, as it doesn't really seem to be related to anything, but I guess Chibnall is just trying to give off the illusion that these two are actual human beings, I guess. So yeah, the companions seem to be not having actual arcs again. They're just there to be comic relief and to just get into trouble so the Doctor can save them. Such a waste of characters. Wait, I just realised something. At the beginning of the episode, Yaz and Ryan are making excuses, like Ryan is making excuses, saying he's had all these different illnesses to get out of basketball practice or something, and like Yaz is making excuses to get time off of doing police work, to go on adventures with the Doctor. But the Doctor has a time machine. She has a time machine, which means that she could just pick you up in the TARDIS and you could go on adventures for as long as you want, and then she could just drop you back at the exact same moment she picked you up. So it wouldn't even seem like you were gone. Okay, Chris, do you even know anything about how Doctor Who works? Because I'm getting really fucking worried now. Number 3. The aliens. I didn't give a shit about the aliens. Can't even remember their name. I don't even know if they had a name, to be honest. It just seems like they were there because Chibnall thought, oh yeah, this is supposed to be a sci-fi show. Better write some aliens in. Don't know why, but when they were all standing in the field glowing, it reminded me of Mr. Burns from the X-Files episode of The Simpsons for some reason.
Don't be afraid.
I don't know, I got a weird mind. But anyway, because of that, I just couldn't take him seriously at all. Also, I swear they said at one point that they've taken on, like, our form, like I assume human form, to mock us. But the thing is, though, their heads aren't the same shape as ours, and the last time I checked, humans don't glow, but But, maybe I'm just missing something, because, I was zoned out for most of the episode, to be fair. So I wasn't really invested at all. Which leads me on to my next point. Number 4. The writing. The biggest problem with Chibnall's era of Doctor Who is the fucking writing, without a doubt. Chris Chibnall just really has no clue how to write science fiction. Which is why the show is in such a shit state right now. It just feels so generic and bland. It's like Chibnall sucked all the heart and soul out of the show. Like the Plasmavore in Smith and Jones, that sucks blood out of people with a straw. It's like Chris is like a Plasmavore, and he took a straw to the neck of Doctor Who, and he just sucked the life out of it. Just sucked and sucked and sucked till it was just an empty, hollow husk of what it used to be. And this episode, it just feels so rushed. Like, it moves at a breakneck speed, and it doesn't take the time to let anything sink in. Like it's like an hour long, and it just rushes along, and yet it drags because you haven't got no time to take anything in. So you're not invested. So it just drags. It's just it's a mess. It's just like, here's a scene, now the next scene, now the next scene. It's like a revolving fucking door of scenes that just keeps going along and along, and you're like, whoa, slow fucking down, I need to get into this building for Christ's sake. But I can't because the revolving doors are going so fucking fast. Christ. Like, it moves so fast, it just doesn't give you a chance to really connect with the story or the characters or what's even happening. And Chibnall even manages to fuck up one of the most quintessential scenes in Doctor Who. The moment where a character walks into the TARDIS for the first time, where everything slows down for a minute, and the music becomes mystical and epic to punctuate the grandeur of the TARDIS, as the characters look around awestruck at this wonderfully impossible machine, and we see the gleeful look on the Doctor's face as he relishes how the character is taken in the splendour of this wonderful machine, which is the gateway to all that was and all that ever can be. However, in this episode, O takes 2 steps into the TARDIS for about 5 seconds, doesn't even bother to walk in to take a proper look, and we get one flat shot of the TARDIS console, not even the whole room, and the music sounds like some fucking royalty-free version of a Disney song. Then O just walks out of the TARDIS and says, "Ridiculous," in the most uninfused tone I've ever heard, while the Doctor just looks at him with a vacant expression, as if she's just shown him round her garden shed or something. Now yes, you could argue that because of certain revelations with O's character, it could explain why he seems so unfazed by the TARDIS, but oh, don't you worry, matey. I will fucking get to that juicy nugget shortly. Another thing I hate is the fucking obvious dialogue that happens in this episode, where a character states the obvious. Like where the Mr. Burns alien laughs at the Doctor, Graham says, "Oh, I think it's laughing at you, Doctor." Well, no fucking shit, Graham! Thanks for pointing that out. Definitely wouldn't have come to that conclusion myself. It's the most basic, half-assed writing I've seen yet from Chibnall. Like, come on, Chris, mate. Where's the fucking passion? It's bloody pitiful. And, fucking hell. Speaking of pitiful. Number 5. That twist. Alright, before I get into this, River, do you mind telling them?
Spoilers.
Cheers, River, mate. Okay, as River said, there will be spoilers in this section regarding the twist at the end of the episode. So if you haven't seen the episode yet, then skip this bit if you don't want the ending spoiled. But if you haven't watched the episode yet, then seriously, just don't bother. Save yourself an hour of your life being wasted. Just watch some clips of it on YouTube if you're really interested. Like, that would be my advice. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get into this then. So, remember when I said that there were some revelations with the O character? Yeah, well, in the most half-assed, lackluster reveal, which felt so forced and tacked on, we find out that O is actually the Master. Are you kidding me? So, with no real build-up or any ounce of tension, this dude just turns around and is like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm the Master, lol, LeMayo, hee hee." Like, this reveal just reeks of pure desperation. Chibnall just decided to shoot his load in the very first episode of the new series in a desperate attempt to keep the fans interested, because his writing sure as shit wasn't doing the job. Like, it's way too soon to be bringing back the Master. It just feels so cheap, and it makes his character less exciting if he keeps being brought back too regularly. Also, like, this is just my opinion, okay? It's just my opinion. I could be wrong, But I just don't think that Sacha Dhawan it just doesn't seem like Master material at all. Like the guy's a good actor, but honestly, I just don't think he's right for this role. I'm just not feeling it at all. I just don't see this guy as the Master. I'm sorry. And I mean, oh my god, the fucking laugh and the clapping. Good Christ, I thought I was watching a fucking parody. Just Christ. And to go back to what I was saying earlier with the context that I was the Master and seeming unfazed by the TARDIS, you would think that he would still act awestruck so as not to raise suspicion, but nope. He essentially acts like he doesn't give a shit, and the Doctor doesn't even get suspicious at all. She's just stood there with a glazed expression on her face. You'd think she'd be like, "Oh, hang on, mate. You don't seem at all surprised by the TARDIS. Almost like you've seen one before." But nope, doesn't happen. Hey, remember when Master reveals, were actually good and, like, well done? Like in Series 3 in Gridlock, when the Face Bow says "you are not alone" to the Doctor, and then it comes up again in Utopia when, like, the Doctor figures out that Professor Yana is an anagram for "you're not alone." And also he sees the fob watch as well, which is set up in the Family of Blood two-parter. So, Martha figures out that he must be a Time Lord, so that it's all built up. So when the reveal finally comes, it's earned. Like, it's actually earned. We're like, oh shit, why don't we figure this out? It's like, it all makes sense now. Then, like, in Series 8, with, like, Missy, we see bits and pieces of her throughout the series, and it builds up actual intrigue. Because, like, oh, I wonder who she is, And then when we actually finally find out that she's the Master, but now a female version of the Master, called Missy, it's like, oh shit, now we finally know it's actually earned. But with this, it's just at the end of the episode, the guy's just like, oh yeah, I'm the Master, lol. Just Jesus fucking Christ. It took like an hour to fucking process how bad that reveal was. Fuck me. Right. Well, I'm going to leave it there. As I could go on for ages talking about how shit this episode was and how shit Chibnall's era of Doctor Who is. But you don't want to sit through an hours long episode of me ranting, so I might make more videos on Doctor Who, just go in more in depth and stuff, just talk about, why I think it's shit and like all the things that's going wrong lately, and just, just how it could be improved, just stuff like that. But it depends on how well this video is received, I guess. Like, I might review the rest of this series too, but I'm not 100% sure I will yet, judging by how fucking abysmal this episode was. I may die of boredom or fucking alcohol poisoning, as I can barely endure a Chris Chibnall episode sober. I just want you all to bear in mind that all the stuff I said in this video is just my opinion. So if you really enjoyed this episode, like, please don't take what I said to heart. I just wanted to take this opportunity as a chance to vent my frustration, that's all. So yeah, right, that's my lot. In a bit, everyone. Have fun.